of life. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to show you the two planners that I use for my 1920 year, and then the one I'm going to use for my 2021 budget year. The only reason I am starting in August is that's actually the official month that I started last year. So today, actually August 1st, marks my first year anniversary where I started pushing and hustling to have a family budget. And it has been really hard, and I have had to jump hoops, and I am not perfect, but here we are today. And I feel that although my progress has been minimum, I feel it's still a good progress. Let me go ahead and start by mentioning a couple of disclaimers. Number one, I am not a professional in finances. I am not an advisor. I am a mommy that budgets for her family. That's it. And throughout this process, I have created and come up with a couple of forms that are like dummy forms that I needed because this was so hard for me. By no means do I intend this to be the way to budget. Definitely not, because I know there's so many people that do this different and it's amazing. What I am saying though is that this is what worked for me, and I asked for your respect, especially in the comments, just because sometimes, even though I don't want to be offended and I actually let a lot of it slide, I don't know, it hurts me to think that that someone may assume that I'm doing this pretentiously, thinking that people can budget like I can. Of course not. Budgeting is kind of like when you try to take care of yourself and are in a health weight loss journey. Every journey is personal. I cannot tell you what to do, and this is why I am not actually a professional in finances at all. Hence why I had to start taking care of my family's money, because I felt like we were living poor, and my whole purpose was just to know where my money was going. I wanted to know where my husband's money was going, and I wanted to know where our family's money was going. We are a household that is blessed to have two incomes, and blessed as we are, we have worked our butts off. I mean, in order for me to get a bachelor's, it took me 10 years. That tells you a lot. So know that any numbers that you see here are real numbers, but please know that everyone has a journey, and I am not doing this so that you can get offended in any way. Just wanted to put that out there into the world, just so you know that my intentions are never to put anyone down or to make anyone anxious. It is just a way that I have found to help my family budget. Another thing that I want to mention is that the budget forms that I created are to fit my family's need. Along the process, there was a high demand from the community here on YouTube where they wanted to access these forms. Hence why I opened an Etsy shop. By no means is that any major source of income at all. If you want me to stay honest, my last deposit was a $471. That's how much I got, and that's a lot for a week. Honestly, that's just it. So please, I have no intentions. This is not a business for me. This is just, I want the world to know that you don't have to be an expert to take care of your money. And so I never thought that I could do it, and I never thought that I will get this far. Not that I have done too much, but I feel like I'm on the right path. So with that being said, I'm going to stop boring you and get started. There are many things that I'm not going to show you from here because this all started in Mexico while I was like resting and relaxed last year, 2019. I spent 2 months during my summer in Mexico. That's what we do as a family. So out there, I was seeing a lot of YouTube videos that helped me, and I actually bought an extension budget planner from the Happy Planner, and that's how I started. it looks something like that. I can't really show you the page behind this because I have a lot of personal information that I don't want to share. But I started using these forms, and little did I realize that they weren't really going to work for me like I wanted to. So come July, I did my first monthly spread where I put in, like here, all of my paycheck, all of my husband's paycheck and my paycheck, and I kind of just added everything up. So it was a journey, and things have changed throughout. When I realized in July that it was hard for me to budget using cash, I asked my sister, was it August? Yeah, August, for her to help me create a document where I can make things easier. And that's where we came up with something that looks like this. And so this was my first actual month where I started budgeting in, let me see, yeah, here you can see this, August. And it took like June, July to kind of like do mock setups. And finally August, when I came back from Mexico and started working, I decided to set up something more official. So I learned that I love the monthly, that I started to be really good about tracking certain things, but I did not like color coding with a highlighter. And so I ordered some stickers. The stickers help me because, well, I'm a planner babe and I love stickers. And so I started to, September, I started using a lot more my monthly, where I was looking into events and seeing where we were going to spend a lot of our money. Then this is where I started tracking things and highlighting them. That was too much for me. So this was the first and last month I did that. And so I kept going with, this is the only form that I kept loving because I understood what I was doing. And so I decided for October to actually use the Happy Planner stickers to color code. And that helped me a lot, but it was a lot of tedious work for me. And I don't know, I didn't feel comfortable, and it was becoming a detriment to the budget because it wasn't making me happy. October was also the month where I realized that I could get rid of our DirecTV, and whatever we paid to DirecTV, use it to add to one of our credit cards. And I said, well, this is a form of snowball, right? So that's where I started paying my debt. Little did I know that that was going to change my life completely. When I started tracking October, I actually looked into what I owed. I did not want to see, I'm not one to create Excel documents. I did not want to pull my statements and look at the APR. I didn't want to put them in order by largest to greatest accounts. But one thing was for sure, I was able to log into Credit Karma, which is an application where you can see your credit score and your total amount of debt. When I realized that I could see that in Credit Karma, then I immediately transferred that information to this side panel right here. To start with, I knew I was like, and I looked at the overall number, which is crazy to look at because I have a home loan, a car loan, a school loan, and the credit cards and a car payment. I mean, it was a lot. So it was $250,000 in debt, including my husband's credit cards, which I couldn't see because it was not under my social. There were only some that we had as joint accounts. So $250,000, and it was overwhelming, but I said, you know what, I have to start somewhere. So we put those $100 into one of the credit cards, and that's when I started snowballing. It started October. Now, one of the things that I disliked was that I had to scale down my forms from an 8.5 to 11 to size it to a classic Happy Planner. Then when I scaled them down on my computer, I printed them out. When I printed them out, I had to cut them down so that it fits this. I got kind of annoyed by that, and by June of this year, I was like, I'm gonna move into a big happy planner, and that's exactly what I did. Another thing that I received in Christmas that changed was my sprocket. So what I ended up doing is I screenshotted my Credit Karma credit score, and I screenshotted my overall debt, and I used those two pictures and put them in my planner. The picture paper that comes in here has an adhesive side, so all I had to do was peel that off and glue them onto the beginning of the month. I think I started doing that in January. Yep, I started doing that in January, and then I kept going, doing it in the beginning of every month. So that was my beginning journey. If I were to show you everything in here, they're just scribbles all over, especially my June, July, and then officially I started August. So August started looking a little better, especially because I had to film it for you guys starting back in August. I think that's when I did my first budget video. And so yeah, I thought like I had to do a little better, right? So things haven't always gone the best, but hence I still kept pushing through. Two things that I realized: I didn't want to cut the inserts, so that's why I found a solution and went to the Big Happy Planner. When I went to the Big Happy Planner, I realized that I didn't want to use stickers that are color coded to figure out my expenses, and I didn't like highlighting them either. I got confused, and many times I highlighted something incorrectly or use a sticker that was a different color that it was supposed to meet another category. And if you've seen budget videos, you kind of know what I'm talking about. If you don't, I'm going to show you in the Big Happy Planner. This one has a lot of personal notes because it's like kind of like my beginner baby. I can't really show you everything in here, but this is all my classic budget planner, and then just some of my inserts here. Then I moved on to this Big Happy Planner come June, and all of this I can show you. I wanted to do well, and I was so happy that I was able to print and hole punch and put in here. So no scaling down, no cutting. So that was perfect. And then I still did my bills here, important events, so that I can budget for that. The one thing that I still couldn't figure out was tracking my expenses. And I tried it in a whole sheet and then color coding. That didn't work. Then I was trying to do the same here, but weekly, because to me weekly is easier. I can like just do it at the end of the week, but the spaces were really big. And again, I was having issues with the color coding. I'm not sure why, but it didn't work for me. And when something like, I don't like doing something, then this happens, right? So I feel horrible because even though I was being really good about tracking in my cash envelopes here or my cash dividers, I never transfer them here because I just didn't want to go through that. I really did not. So this is when I talked to my husband, and I asked him, but I decided that we will get a new budget planner. And the one I have here is a binder that is meant to be a teacher planner, but I am going to make it work as a budget planner because I think it'll solve my tracking system problem. So as you can see, this is really big. You saw the classic Happy Planner here on the top. You also saw a Big Happy Planner. The binder is super big. The pages are 8.5 by 11. Let's take a look. Before I start flipping through this and start showing you my new system, I want you to see what we have accomplished in the 2019-2020 year. And here it is. Even though, remember, I said we started with a debt of $250,000, and okay, here we go. My camera totally fell on me and I had a difficult time, but here we go. Remember that my goal was just to see where my money is going. Not only did we accomplish that, but we immediately stopped using credit cards, and all of this happened in the 1920 year. The first thing that happened was we did save $1,000 starter emergency fund, which we depleted with plumbing and car maintenance. We paid off a MasterCard for $2,850. We spent on home improvement for living room tile and a Traeger grill. We paid a Visa card for $1,650. We paid Camila's laptop and my daughter's speech toys when we started quarantine for $400 cash. We did home repairs, including garage and more plumbing, for $1,000. We paid off a bank loan for $1,000. We also paid a November Mexico trip for $2,300. Did I skip something? No. I paid a friend loan for $1,200, which was for an October cruise that the girls and I took. And right now, we have a couple of money in the sinking funds. This is not updated because my husband and I decided to take a Vegas trip in which we actually depleted our July challenge money. We were able to meet the $600 challenge, but we decided to spend it. So that's a story for Wednesday when I do my husband's paycheck. But that we accomplished all of that. Now take a look at this. And I know it's not a lot, but I still want you to see what we have accomplished here. So let me introduce you to this teacher planner. This teacher planner is from the Erin Condren. I bought in the Erin Condren website for $55. It also included teacher stickers, I think like 3 or 4 sheets, as well as the teacher holiday stickers that you can put in the monthly. I just store them away because I wasn't going to use them. Everything in here, it came with the binder with the exception of my Simply Gilded tabs that I created, and as well as my inserts and my little sticky pad right here. So everything else was $55, and that's what my husband and I decided to spend. I did consult that with him, but I finally made the decision. He said, whatever I'm comfortable with. If I had told him about this a year ago, he would have been, why spend money when we're trying to budget? I can't believe it. Just give it to me. Blah, 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 blah. I can't believe you're holding me back. I can't believe you're counting my money. Now he's like, yeah, babe, how many envelopes do I need to go to the bank today or tomorrow? He's like on board 150%, even though we have been married for 15 years, and a lot of our bickering during our years in marriage have been over financial issues. This has completely changed that. And although it might be something that we don't really talk about, it's true. I mean, how many times, really think about how many times have you had some kind of bickering or disagreement with your couple about finances? And it's a big thing in a marriage, especially when we are both spenders. So here we go. Let me show you the new system and where we stand in terms of debt. So in this folder right here, we have the sticky tabs, the cash envelope bill breakdown, and then the other one is in here. And the BOLDERBON 52-week challenge stickers that I'm using for that challenge. It comes with this sheet protector where I have the extra cash envelope bill breakdown that my husband takes to the bank. Then I created 4 tabs. All I did is use my seals from my Simply Gilded subscription box and laminated them and just cut around them so that I can make a cute tab. So the 4 tabs are used as follows. This one right here is for my cash budget form, in which I use for my husband's weekly paycheck. The second tab is a monthly bills budget form, in which I use to pay all the monthly bills with my paycheck. This third one right here is for our sinking funds, and the fourth one, which is actually the reason why I switched to this binder, is to track my expenses. And by my, I mean our family expenses. So let's look through that. And then I'll kind of show you the other tabs. So the first tab, as I told you, is for our cash budget. This is typically what I upload on Wednesdays or Thursdays in my channel. I just basically put a category to each dollar, and I make sure that it goes into a specific envelope. That's what this form is all about. My husband's check is used for our cash flow during the week, as well as maybe a couple of bills here and there, depending on the week, and sinking funds. So that's what I use this form and then for the monthly payment checklist is all about my check. Like I said before, I'm very fortunate, but I also work my butt off. I am able to pay all of the major bills with my paycheck. That's just, it is what it is. And like I said, this works for me. That doesn't mean it's going to work for you. If my husband didn't work or I didn't work, then guess what? I will have to budget around that. That doesn't mean you can't budget. That doesn't mean you can't have sinking funds. What it means is that my butt is not going to fund for a sinking fund where I have to fund for my mortgage payment or my rent payment. You have to prioritize your bills, your household, your income. It has to be according to what you have now and your specific needs. Now, I see other people on YouTube as well, and I would love to budget for my classroom right now, and I would love to budget for the 3-month emergency fund, where I have 3 months worth of my mortgage payment and I'm trying to pay my mortgage completely. Like, I would love to be there, but guess what? I'm not there. So we have to adjust to our needs. We have to adjust to our income, because that's just what it is. I mean, I'm not saying this is fair. I'm not saying this is what should happen. I'm just saying you need to adjust. And I know I am grateful with what I have, but I also know that I work really hard, and I am not ashamed, and I am not going to be sorry for what I earn. So, and I'm only saying that because I have had a couple of comments on like, yeah, I don't have that income. And no, of course not. I also don't have yours, you know. So I have to budget for my family for what's best suited for us. And so this, as far as I know and my husband knows, that's what we think is the best for our family right now. It might not be, but that's what we think. And you know, you just do what you have to do for your family. So please know, no matter how large or low your income is, you can still budget. I mean, you still have to pay rent, right? You still have to pay bills. So might as well know what check you will be using for what bills. I mean, it doesn't take anything away from you. If anything, it'll help you, not cause any detriment to your finances. I'm sorry that I went off on a tangent there, but it had to be said because I have had a couple of rude comments like that. And honestly, I kind of laughed, and I read it to my husband. He's like, really? Who would take time to write something like that? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Okay, so anyway, moving on to our next tab. And the next tab is sinking funds. Again, this is a form that I created because it works for me. I put every paycheck what I put in that sinking fund, and there's this little line right here where if I subtract it from that sinking fund in between paychecks, then I will put there minus 20, minus 30, minus 500, whatever that may be. So this is just for the month of August. The last tab over here is where I will be tracking our expenses. What changes here is I do not have to highlight, I do not have to color code. All I have to do is put it under the category. I decided to flip this and put the dates here on the top and categories on the side. This is not a new idea. People all over YouTube have done it to use as life planner, to help with organizing kids for school. different ways. Like I have seen that all over YouTube. That's not new. What is new right now and what I have come up with is using this side right here for my categories in budget. That way, if I spend anything food, then it would be in this row. Anything for the car would be in this row. Anything for spending, household, miscellaneous. That's where it will go, and I'll just write it in that square, and that's it. Now let me show you what September looks like so you can see the format of this planner. Because it is a teacher planner, you have only Monday through Friday for lesson planning, and then you have subjects at the top. Fortunately, this has 7 sections, so I decided to make this one Sunday, as you can see right here. All I needed was stickers to redate that, and then whited out the date here and added my categories. I am hoping that this system will work. If not, I'm still going to have to stick to this system, whether I love it or I hate it, because there are a couple of things that I wish I had done last year. So here are the things that I wish I would have done last year that I didn't. Number 1 is track everything. So I'm doing this so that I can help myself in doing that. Hopefully, crossing my fingers, this will work. Now, right in front of the monthly tab, so this is my monthly, and I'll tell you a little bit about it. But right in front of it, there are 2 notes pages that I can use to do my summary of the week. So let me give you an example. Once I'm done with this week, next week, today is the 1st, August 1st. So starting August 3rd, I will start tracking all of these categories. At the end of the week, on Sunday night, I will go through food, add everything up, and then put food, week 1, how much we spend on food. Vehicle, how much we spend on vehicle. So on and so forth. At the end of the month, once I have gone through the 4 weeks of August, if there are 5 weeks in any month, I'll just use this top portion. But because there are only 4 weeks this month, I will use this one of the sections here, maybe here or here, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of space here to do my overall monthly expenses. That's what I'm planning to do. That is the way that I just decided to do it. A lot of these categories, I actually went back to see some of the Budget Moms videos to see where I can use, I don't know, there's sometimes that I couldn't find a category for some purchases. So she has a miscellaneous where she puts wants, unexpected purchases, or unplanned purchases. So this is a perfect category for those times where I'm like, where should this go? So that way I don't feel confused and then out of sorts. And when I don't track, which was happening in the happy planners, when I didn't track something, I was feeling like I wasn't really doing well and I wasn't being the best budgeter and I could be doing better. So let's see if that helps. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. It's fine. I will be okay with it. I will come into terms with it as I did this last year, and we'll just do something else the following. So let's go ahead and get started here. All this part at the beginning are my inserts. So I printed them out for the entire year. That way I don't have to worry about it. I 3-hole punched them and they're ready to go. Nothing to it, I'm ready. Then here in the teacher lesson planner, you have, well, things to put all about me, events, volunteers. I'm not using any of this. I will be using the contact page. This is where you would typically write the communication log, but I used a little post-it here to do my 52-week challenge, and then I added any of our goals. One of the goals I have is to finish my 52-week challenge for this 2020 year. Then we just have one more credit card to go, and I'm so excited to tell you that. I don't know how it happened, but it did. I actually set the goal for me to pay it off by September, which, I mean, typically I have ideas like that and they don't always unravel the way I think they will, but it's okay. A girl can always dream. So it's still here. I mean, we're doing well and it's in progress. I actually paid a chunk this month more than I thought. So that's still not here, but I will update it on Wednesday, hopefully, with you guys. And then the last one here is the entire debt-free tracker. And this is a long shot. This is a long-term goal, maybe not even for my lifetime, but who knows, you know, we never know where life could take us. So we started with $250,000 debt. Out of this $250,000 debt that we started August 2019, we have paid off, let me see this line, about $21,000. So last year we didn't use any credit cards and we paid $21,000 in debt. That's pretty darn good. Slow and steady wins the race. Maybe it could have been better, but you know what? As far as I know, I did not even want to start this. It just happens to be that I said, hey, let's stop paying DirecTV. We don't even use it. And we started putting it into a credit card. And as soon as I started seeing that small credit card lowering each month, I got like obsessed and I wanted to pay it off. So that's how everything started. And I wasn't perfect. I'm still not perfect, but I'm trying here. And so this contact tab will be used for all of our financial goals. The 2021 tab is just that. I'm not really using it for anything. If anything, it's just for reference. There's this tab, year plan, and it's perfect for me to write down the bills or the payments that we have to do that do not come monthly but yearly, like car tax, like Amazon Prime, like Costco membership, things like that. This is one of the things that I wish I would have done last year. And although they are recorded somewhere in the months, they're kind of lost in there. I wish I just had an overview like this. The other thing I want to do is in the graph tab, I want to put a picture with my sprocket of my credit score as well as the debt totals. So when I go to Credit Karma, I can always screenshot that, send it to my sprocket, and this is an adhesive paper, so I'll just have to put them here as stickers. And then I was thinking, I don't know how many would fit here, but I have these 2 sheets for the first 6 months, I'm thinking, and then these for the following 6 months. That way I can have the overview in 2 pages of my credit score as well as my debt. So like I said, I'm not one to pull my bill statements, but Credit Karma did help me just screenshot it and see like the overall. And although it takes some time to update, like I still had a pretty good idea of where I was standing or where I am standing as well. All right, so that is that. This will actually take you to the month of August, and the month of August is this mustard yellow color in which I have already decided I will be doing my totals for the month, totals for the week, and totals for the month. Then it takes me to my monthly tab, which is August. I am embarrassed to tell you that all of these stickers that you see here are afterpays. They are no interest charges, but I did go a little bit cuckoo in July, and we're just gonna flip that page because, yeah, embarrassment, but we're gonna act like it's not there, even though it is. We're not going to address the elephant in the room at this moment in time, maybe sometime next year when I am over it. But for now, that would take me straight into this first week, and then when I change to the next week, then I'll just change my tab, and that takes me to the remainder of the months. And the last month here is July, and we will be talking about what happened then if God permits. So on the very back, there's a checklist, and here is what I think if you decide to get something like this, you can do. I was thinking of doing like sinking funds here and just putting all my sinking funds and then how much I add and the date. But honestly, I don't know if that will work best for me because I would like to see my sinking funds per month. I don't know if that will be like a thing, like where I can highlight, but then again, we will go to color coding. So I don't know that I will keep up with this, but that's a good idea. I saw it and I'm like, hey, can I do my sinking funds there? And then I immediately pulled back and I'm like, nope, if my sinking funds form works, then why try something new? So there it is. I'm excited that I was able to show you my new system and that I was kind of able to give you an overview of last year. I know this is more talking than showing you. I'm sorry that I couldn't open the Classic Happy Planner as much, but believe me when I say I did film this. This is my second time filming this, and when I went back to edit, I was like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of personal information, especially because I was noting a lot of my husband's like response to this. And even though like I'm very open and very transparent to you guys, like I just didn't want to expose myself like that. I mean, let's just be honest. The one thing that I have noticed with this binder is that I do have to like lift it and kind of fix the pages because it's not on a D-ring binder. So I don't want to bend the pages in the back. And so I just kind of lift it and then close it down like that. And that's that. I'm going to show you one more thing that I have here and then I'm going to let you go. I have used this when I was when I set up this planner, and I opened all of these to help me with it, and I loved it. This is like the little accordion rainbow pouch that I'll be using from Erin Condren. The Erin Condren link is down below. It is an affiliate link. Okay, and then I'll open this one, and I just opened this right in front of me like so, like that. And I was using things. I'll show you what's in here. The first thing are my alcohol prep pads, which if you've been in my channel, you know I use to erase my bank trackers. And then this right here is a new thing that I'm gonna start doing because I saw ROMINA ROSSA tracking her expenses here. I had for a while had these dividers. I forgot who I bought them from on Etsy. If I remember, I'll put the link down below. And this is tracker right there. And so I'm thinking of tracking there. And then these are just lists. And then over here it says cash, but I'm thinking I'm just going to put, these are my micro envelopes that I used to sell on my Etsy shop. And I'm thinking I'm just going to put my receipts there. So this is my little notebook. I'll put it in my purse and then in here when I'm ready to budget. This right here just hosts my notebook where my husband and I really budget. You don't need any binder, happy planner, anything like that. You can just get a notebook from the Dollar Tree and start doing things like this. And then just starting like that, we kind of just do our crazy notes here. And yeah, that works so that I can come and do my cash budget form there. And then here I just have just the planner essentials. Let me just pull out real quick. Just like some extras that I had there. And I have the EC highlighters dual tip and my favorite pens. And this last one is the most important one actually that I absolutely love. I have all my date covers. Here are the PlannerKate date covers. I bought some gold paper print covers. And then I bought ROMINA ROSSA stickers and some SweetTPlans stickers that I have for budgeting. I put in the front. And then these are ROMINA ROSSAs. The other thing that I have from her that I bought a while back, actually, I think when I took my November break, what is it? Mexico trip, I bought her cash envelopes, which is what I'll be using. And I will no longer use my tracker tabs because I think this would be easier. I don't want to be stressed out with writing them on my tabs, and I'll just use the envelopes that I bought from her a while back. I don't think she has these exact ones, but she does sell cash envelopes as well. Now she has her own Shopify. So again, this will go in my purse to track any purchases and keep any receipts. All right, well, I'm really excited. I am glad that you were here today. I hope I was able to give you some ideas so that you can start your budget, whether that be with an Erin Condren, with a Dollar Tree notebook, with a graph paper or a line sheet of paper, whatever that may be. Happy budgeting. Love you guys. Take care. But more than anything, God bless. Bye-bye.